When it comes to picking teams on who could win the national championship for the 2025 college football season, fans have been picking teams like Texas, who will have one of the best defenses in the country this upcoming season, and Arch Manning. Ohio State, who recently just won the national championship. Georgia, who brings in amazing talent year in, year out on both sides of the ball. And even Clemson, who's actually looking scary this year with Cade Klubnik in that defense. But what if I told you there's a team who recently just made the college football playoff semis, who could have made the title game, a team that returns 14 starters, a team who will have the best running back duo in college football. That team is the Penn State Nittany Lions. Penn State is a team I am extremely high on this year, and I am about to tell you why. But before I do, make sure you guys subscribe and turn on the bell. Almost 60% of you guys watching right now aren't subscribed to the channel, and we're trying to hit 200 subscribers today, so make sure you subscribe. Now, Penn State last year was able to finish with a record of 13-3, losing to Ohio State by 7, losing to Oregon by 8 in the Big Ten title game, making it to the playoffs where they would demolish SMU 38-10, defeat Ashton Genty and Boise State in the Fiesta Bowl, where then they would lose to Notre Dame in the college football playoff semifinals 27-24. Now, as you can see, all of Penn State's losses this past season were by one score, so the record could have easily been a lot different. The Nittany Lions returned 14 starters from last season, with 9 of them coming on offense and 5 of them coming on defense, with the 9 on offense being their entire offensive line, who gave up 20 sacks last year, which was 23 in sacks allowed in the country last year, and 4th in the Big Ten. They also returned Drew Aller, who had over 3,300 passing yards, 24 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions. He was 3rd in the Big Ten in passing. They also returned their 2 star running backs, in Katron Allen and Nick Singleton, who combined for over 2,000 yards rushing and 20 touchdowns, which helped them have the best rushing offense in the Big Ten this past year, which they will probably have it again. They also returned wide receiver Liam Clifford, who had 18 catches for 286 yards in a touchdown. And on the defensive side of the ball, they returned Zane Durant, Denai Dennis Sutton, who was 2nd for the Nittany Lions in sacks last year, Tony Rojas, who was tied for having the most interceptions last season with 3, AJ Harris, and Zach Wheatley, who was 3rd in tackles for Penn State last season, was tied for having the most interceptions on the team with 3. So for Penn State, people are expecting them to take a huge step forward on the offensive side of the ball, even after losing Tyler Warren, who was 2nd in the Big Ten in receiving yards behind Jeremiah Smith. It was responsible for a 3rd of Penn State's total passing yards. Drew Aller is expected to take a huge step forward this season. With him having his entire offensive line back, definitely helps him. And they also bring in 2 transfers who were highly rated receivers in the portal. And Devontae Ross, who originally played for Troy this past season, he had a total of 1,043 yards, 11 touchdowns, averaging over 13 yards a catch. Coming in along with them from Syracuse is Trey Burpina, who had 941 yards, 9 touchdowns, and averaged 11 yards a catch. So these are definitely nice receivers to help Aller in the passing game, as that definitely needs to improve if Penn State wants to win the national championship this year, as they were 26th in the nation in total offense, which I expect that to improve this year. On defense, they bring in Amari Campbell, who recorded 6.5 sacks for the Tar Heels last season, and they also bring in King Mack from Alabama, as he didn't get a lot of playing time. Same with Owen Waffle from Michigan. They lost their big piece on defense last year in Abdul Carter, but I believe they should be fine, as it seems like Penn State always has a good defense, as they had the 7th best defense in terms of total defense this past season. A thing the Nittany Lions really want to accomplish this season is to get over the Ohio State hump, as they haven't been able to beat them since 2016, which, shocking enough, was the last time they were able to win the Big Ten. But it's not just Ohio State, it's also Michigan, and now looking to be Oregon as well when they joined the Big Ten this past season. This is why James Franklin has been giving the nickname Big Game James, as it seems like every time he takes on a top 10 team, he and his team crumble in the moment and lose in usually heartbreaking fashion or blowout. But this year is supposed to be different. This is the year where Penn State feels they can finally start beating these upper teams and moving up to the next level. And the schedule they have this year definitely favors them to finally make that step. Looking at the schedule, their first 3 games of the season are against Nevada, FIU, and Villanova. These all should be easy wins for Penn State, as they have nowhere near the talent Penn State has right now, and Penn State should be able to get in their backups to get some experience in those games. Then after the 3 games against teams that Chuck E. Cheese University could beat, you get a bye week before you must play Oregon. I do think the Ducks will take a bit of a step back this year, losing guys like Dillian Gabriel, Tez Johnson, and Jordan James. Plus, you get them at home this year, so I'm giving the Penn State the win here. Then you get to play UCLA and Northwestern, who's projected to be 2 of some of the worst teams in the Big Ten, so you should be able to win those games. If you lose to them, then there's something obviously wrong. Then you get to play Iowa on the road, which Iowa is a team that has a good defense, but a horrendous offense every year. I do think that even though it will be on the road, Penn State should be able to get the win here, but they definitely should not overlook that game. So heading into the second bye week, I got the Nittany Lions at 7-0, and after said bye week, you take on Ohio State. When this game is played, it will be a top 10 matchup, maybe even a top 5 matchup. Penn State is hoping to finally get over the Ohio State road bump this year, and this is the year that they could finally do it. You do have an extra week to prepare for this game, but so does Ohio State, and it's on the road as well. So sadly, I'm going to pick Ohio State here. Until I can see you guys finally beat them, I will pick you to lose to them every single time until I see you beat them. I'm sorry. Then after that, you take on Indiana, which I think will get the win there. I think Indiana will take a step back this past season, losing possibly their best player in Curtis Rourke. Then you guys finish the season with Michigan State on the road, home against Nebraska, and on the road at Rutgers. I think Penn State should be able to win those games as well. Those teams don't have the talent that Penn State has right now, but if Penn State was able to slip up one of those games, it's maybe Nebraska, solely because of Dylan Raiola. But I don't think he would be enough to help the Cornhuskers win that game. So I got Penn State going 11-1, which should be enough to get them in the Big Ten title game once again. And who knows, maybe even win it. And maybe Penn State could finally win the national championship this year. But that's it for me. Let me know your guys' thoughts on Penn State this upcoming season. And I'll see you guys in the next video.